All right, so we have post-tropical cyclone Kirk impacting Western Europe right now. It was a Category 4 hurricane last week over the open Atlantic, but it has since recurved, lost its tropical characteristics, and is making landfall right now. As I'm making this video, making landfall right now into portions of France. Today on Wednesday, October 9th. So this is looking at the past 24 hours satellite loop. It starts off from yesterday. We have Kirk coming in from the left side of the screen. And then going into the overnight hours last night and into this morning. Right now, you can see it making landfall right here into portions of France at the moment. Bringing heavy rains, gusty winds, brought a lot of high wind into portions of into northern Spain and Portugal several hours ago. And then looking at the pressure right now with this storm, we're still talking sub 980 millibars, so it's obviously a lot weaker than what it was when it was a hurricane, but it's still packing quite the punch for portions of Western Europe and then soon places to the east and northeast. And once again, here's the satellite loop at the moment for Western Europe. Here we have Kirk moving into portions of France and with its cloud shield spreading over into Germany. The center of Kirk is right about here in central France, with the majority of rain is on its northern side, and the majority of its wind is on its eastern and southern flank. So, and then here's a look at the radar at the moment. Large shield of rain moving across portions of northern France, and also very heavy rains right around the center of the storm. Center of the storm is right about here, and we have a lot of heavy rains off to its south as well. But Paris right now is getting dumped with heavy rain at the moment. And then here's a look at Germany. Current radar over Germany this afternoon, local time on Wednesday, October 9th. That large shield of rain now overspreading into much of central and northern Germany. Also moving in, also over portions of Belgium and the Netherlands as well at the moment. And then next I want to show you the wind gusts that we were seeing over portions of Spain and northern Portugal a few hours ago as the storm was just to their north. These are in kilometers per hour, especially in the northwest Spain. We were getting wind gusts of 100 to 120 kilometers per hour, or about 60 to 80 miles per hour. And basically the entire far northern portion of Spain was getting close to 100 kilometers per hour wind gusts, even more so in the higher elevations. You see getting close to 115 kilometers per hour, or about 70 miles per hour. But basically, the entire northern half of Spain was getting very gusty winds this morning. Brought down a lot of trees there in northern Spain and Portugal with these higher winds. And right now, at the moment, we're still getting gusts upwards of 100 kilometers per hour there in north central Spain. And then even into portions of France right now, the west coast of France, getting close to around 80 to 100 kilometer per hour winds, or about 50 to 60 miles per hour. And here's a closer look at France. Like I said, getting close to 100 kilometers per hour now there across the western coast. And like I said, the majority of the wind is on its southern side of the center of the storm, which is why the central and southern portions of France are seeing the majority of the wind at the moment, while the majority of the rain is off to its north, like I just showed in northern France into Germany. And then so here's a look at the past rainfall over the past few hours. There across northwest Spain, getting close to 75 to 100 millimeters of rainfall, or about 3 to 4 inches of rainfall already there in northwest Spain. While the majority of northern Spain already got close to about 25 millimeters, or about 1 inch of rain. And so lastly, I want to show you the future of post-tropical cyclone Kirk as it moves through Europe and what kind of impacts we'll be seeing. This is using the European model. So starting off right now, looking at the precipitation. Here we have the center of Kirk right there over central France. And we got that shield of rain moving off to its northwest, or to its northeast, I should say. And just as we go through the day today, it moves pretty quickly off to the east and northeast, quickly exiting France later tonight and moving into Germany, the center of the storm at least. That shield of rain overspreads much of Germany by later today, and by the time we get into tomorrow morning, the center of the storm starts to move to the northern coast of Germany, and the rain does become a little bit less, but still quite heavy there across portions of Denmark and into Sweden. As we go into the day tomorrow, the center of post-tropical cyclone Kirk moves into southern Sweden, where it does start to pick up a little bit more energy. You can see the pressure starts to go back down below sub 980 millibars, and the rain shield starts to pick up again once it gets into portions of central and northern Sweden. And then as it starts to go further north, it's able to pull down more cold air on its backside. So we could actually get a pretty hefty snowstorm on its backside there into portions of northern Sweden, where you can see these dark blues there in northern Sweden and Norway, where we could have some pretty intense snowfall rates going into Friday morning and Friday afternoon. And you can see the center of the storm down to 974 millibars, so it does pick up more steam and more energy as it moves further north, once it interacts with that jet stream more. So we could be talking about some enhancements of winds there across the Nordic countries, the northern portions of the Nordics, once we get into Friday. And then the whole storm and the whole system moves out once we get towards Friday night. And so next I want to show you the wind gust forecast, starting off at the moment where we have gusts forecasted of up to 90 to 100 kilometers per hour there across central and southern portions of France this afternoon and evening, or up to 60 miles per hour. And it's a quick punch of wind, lasts about 6 to 8 hours, going into tonight and into the overnight hours, upwards of 70 to 90 kilometer per hour winds there in the eastern portions of France and central and southern portions of Germany. Or about 50 to 60 miles per hour. Going into tomorrow afternoon, it moves into the eastern portions of Germany and western Poland, getting upwards of 75 kilometer per hour winds, or about 50 to 55 mile per hour. And then once we get into portions of tomorrow night, the worst of the wind goes over the Baltic Sea, but could still get a few high wind gusts there in eastern Sweden and into Finland. And then once that storm gains more energy as it moves into the northern portions of the Nordics, could get some enhanced gusts there across northern Sweden and Finland, upwards of 70 kilometers per hour once again, or about 50 to 55 miles per hour before that whole system moves out. And so then next is the total precipitation amounts going over the next 48 hours. You can see the majority of the heaviest rains are today across northern portions of France. Upwards of 50 to 80 millimeters of rainfall, or about 2 to 3 inches of rain. Could get some flooding issues within there in the Paris region, and even into portions of southern Belgium as well. Then beyond that, could get up to 25 to 50 millimeters of rain here from portions of western Germany into Denmark and southern portions of Sweden, or about 1 inch of rainfall. Nothing too bad. And then once that system becomes more energized over the Nordics, we get some more heavier precipitation amounts there into northern Sweden, once again over 50 millimeters, or over 2 inches of precipitation. And lastly, I want to show you the snowfall amounts. These are in centimeters. You can see very heavy amounts here across northern portions of Sweden, upwards of 15 to 30 to perhaps as high as 60 centimeters of snow possible, or about 6 to 12 inches of snow with upwards as high as 2 feet. So low populated area, but still talking about very heavy snowfall amounts up there. And so with that being said, that's all I have for today. Hope you have a good one, guys. See you next time.